All right, boys and girls, we are ready to start doing clay. So you're going to have a piece of clay that looks something like this. May not look exactly like this. And the first thing that you're going to be doing is you're going to be rolling it in your hand. So it's going to look kind of like a ball. We're not looking for a perfect one. You can see that it is not super smooth. So that is what we're looking for first. We have our messy clay mat. We have a container that has slip in it. So slip is clay and water mixed together, and it becomes very soupy and slimy, and this helps us to get things to stick together. All right, you're sharing this for the table. So first things first, you've got your ball rolled, and now you're going to use your hand, and you're going to begin to press it out. So notice I am not taking my hand and hitting it. I am pushing down, and I move my hand around so that it becomes a little bit bigger. Also notice every so often I flip the clay over. That is really, really, really important, because if I don't do that, it's going to stick to this messy mat. So I've got it pressed out, and notice it looks like a circle. If it does not look like a circle, that is okay, but we want to try to get it to look like a circle as much as possible. You can see how I kind of use my hands. You can do another little trick, which is gently tap it and get it to round up. But if you start with the ball shape, it will press out into a circle. So we're trying to get it to press out so that it is about the thickness of a really fat cookie, okay? So fat cookie, that means it is wider than, all right, your pinky. We don't want it skinny, skinny, skinny things. We want it nice and fat and wide, because we are going to be putting some things on this. So now we're going to be attaching clay on to here. We're going to use a method called coil. This is a slab, so it's a flat piece of clay. I'm going to move it off to the side, and what we are creating are coils. We are going to be creating the face for our cat or dog. So I'm going to pull off a small amount of clay, and I'm going to roll this into a coil. So a coil means that it's long, all right, not super skinny. So I'm going to roll this out. This is going to end up being the mouth of our animal. So I've rolled it out. It is not super thin. It's about the thickness of my pinky finger, all right? And what I'm going to do is take this, and I'm going to break it. Yes, I said break it. And I'm going to turn it into the letter J, and I'm going to practice placing it on there. I'm going to take the other one, and I'm going to turn this into the letter J. You can see one is a little bit longer than the other, but that is perfectly fine. I don't want to separate. I want it to look like it comes together and becomes one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to score. So that means I'm going to make marks using the toothbrush, and I'm going to press these two pieces together so they become one. Yes, your hands are going to get a little bit mushy and messy, and that's okay. Now I want to plan where this is going to go. So I don't want it really high. I don't want it at the middle. I don't want it super, super low. So I'm going to put it about right there. I'm going to take that toothbrush, and I'm going to rub this, because I am scoring. Scoring means you're making little marks in there. Then I'm going to put the mouth on, and I'm going to gently press it to the clay. And then I'm going to use my finger, and I'm going to rub the ends of it so it is completely attached. So now it is attached on. From there, I need to make a nose. So I'm going to make a little triangle nose. So I first make a circle, then I'm going to use my finger this time, and I'm going to press it down. I am going to be using a toothpick. Well, I say toothpick. It's really not a toothpick. We could use toothpicks, but I'm worried those are going to break. And we're going to use a paper clip. All right, they are stretched out, and this will let us cut a triangle. We're going to do an upside down triangle. So I'm going to pull these extra pieces off, and I'm going to carefully pop that up. If it squishes, that's okay. Just adjust with your finger. So I know that this nose is going to go on top of there. I want mine to overlap. Okay, so the nose wouldn't be way up here because then it looks like it has a long mouth. So I'm going to put my nose where it overlaps onto the actual mouth itself. So I'm going to score where I want it to go, and then I'm going to put the nose on. I'm going to smooth it down just a little bit so it becomes one with the nose. If I can't see it, then I'm just going to pinch with my fingers, and I'm going to start to form that nose up again. There is no real right or wrong. If you want a different shape for your nose, you want yours to be more like a circle or an oval, you can do that. That's perfectly fine. So you can see how I've adjusted that nose there. If I look at it and I go, you know what, this just doesn't look right, the great thing is I can just pull it off. If I don't like it, then I take it off and I try again. That's the great thing about clay, is we can redo it. So if I decide, oh, you know what, this mouth was too long, I'm just going to pull part of it off. I'm not going to pull the whole thing, just part. And I'm going to remake the nose. So I'm just going to roll and try again. So press it down. Remember, we do not want it super, super, super thin. You flip it so it doesn't stick to the messy mat. And I'm going to try again. I'm going to make a upside down triangle. Pull those off. And now I'm going to do the nose there so it looks a little bit different. Score. Slip and smooth it together. So I want to smooth so it stays. So now I have the nose there. All right, we're ready for eyes. So I'm going to make two eyes. We're going to make the white part first. So I roll. Then I'm going to press it out. Remember, flip it over every so often. So this is going to be my first eye. And I want nice big eyes. That's what I like. So I'm going to roll this one out and do the same thing. Your eyes can either look the same or they can look a little bit different. We're going to have different layers on our eye. So one looks a little more like an oval, the other does not, and they're close together, and I like how that looks. So I'm going to score, press that on. I'm going to do the same thing over here. So score and press it on. Then I'm going to pick two spots to smooth it together so it makes sure that it stays. Now we're going to make the iris part, or the color part of the eye. So I'm going to take a ball and I'm going to break it in half because I want to make two of these. And it's okay if they are not the same. Remember, flip it over. Bit over. So I'm going to test and see how it looks there. I look at those, I go, wow, those look really, really big. I want to make them a little bit smaller, so I'm just going to tear a little bit off, and I'll adjust the other way of doing it. So I'm showing you two different ways. I like that size better. Is to try again, roll the clay. Know it needs to be a little bit smaller, so I'm going to tear off some and then press it out. So two different ways to fix a problem. There are two different ways. So I've got now the eyes the way I like them. So got the eyeballs on, I've got irises. And the next thing, don't forget to smooth a little spot. So make sure that they stay. So we're going to make the actual iris part. So we're going to use a pencil to do this, and we're going to push in, and it's called boring out. So that means we're going to wrap and kind of move it around loosely. So now we've got the eyes. So we've got eyes made, we have nose, we have mouth. You need to think about things like whiskers if you want a whisker or two on yours. So again, we're going to roll out a coil if you want to do this. And I think I do. So I'm going to have maybe 2 whiskers on one side, 2 whiskers on the other. You can see that I have run out of clay, but again, this isn't something to worry about. Okay, it just means that I have to get up and I have to get some more clay. So I am going to get clay in just a second, but I am testing out how I'm going to do the whiskers. So I've gotten more clay and I have rolled my coils. It's a little long. You don't want it where it's hanging off of the circle itself. So if I put this on and it's hanging off, I need to make it shorter. Very, very important to make it shorter. So I'm going to do 2 on each side because I like the way that looks. So I'm going to go through, score and slip and put these on. I'm going to kind of change how I had it before. Put these on smooth. And sometimes I like to use my nail to do that, my fingernail, kind of turn it to the back side. So I'm going to have to hold it and smooth that out. Oh, looky there, that face is coming together. So the last little thing that I need to have on there, I need some ears. All right, cat ears point up and dog ears are going to flop down. So right now I just have an animal, so I'm going to show you how to do both of these. So I'm going to take my piece of clay, I'm going to roll it, and then I'm going to push down. I can either push down with my hand like we did the first time, or I can press down with my fingers. Either way, because it's a little bit bigger piece of clay, is perfectly fine. Now you can do this with 2 pieces, so you do it once and then you do it again, or you can do it all to one big piece. I'm going to take my cutter and I'm going to cut out triangles. Okay, so I'm going to just do 1 triangle to start with. So you can see if I go ahead and just put that right there, it already starts looking like a cat. Well, the bottom of it needs to get a little straighter, and we're not putting it on this side. We're actually going to attach it to the back of ours, so it looks like it is coming around. So I would do 2 of these, and this is how you would attach it. You would flip it over, being very gentle not to press down, score the back, take your ear, lay it down, and then with your finger or thumb, you smooth this together. And you want to smooth so it becomes one. Notice that I'm not leaving a big glob of clay there. It looks like it has fully attached to that piece of clay, so it lays flat. So I would repeat that same thing again, doing a triangle. This one I might not do as big, and again, they don't have to be exactly the same. So I know that this one's going to go right there. So I would score, put it down, smooth it out. It is okay if your ears don't look exactly the same, because there is no animal that has ears exactly the same. Everything's a little different. So now I have my cat made. If I was going to turn this into a dog, So again, if you mess up, just pull your stuff off. It's perfectly fine. So I've got my clay pulled off, and I'm going to try again. And this time I'm going to do a dog. So roll, push, remember, flip over. And this time it's going to be round like this. So basically all I have to do is I have to cut this in half because I want semicircles, okay? Or I want ovals, so I would cut the edge of it. So either way is fine. So it could be floppy eared, all right? Floppy means it hangs down, so watch what I do. So again, I'm going to have this one wrap around the edge, okay? If I want a bigger ear, then it might come like this. So different kind of ears. You could have one ear pop up and one ear kind of down, so it can have a little bit of interest like that if you want, all right? But it's the same way of attaching them. On the back, you score it, then you take the ear, put it down, smooth this out, and then of course you got to do the same thing with the other side. So I'm going to bend and let that one wrap around. This one, if I notice, ooh, I want them to really hang down some, then I definitely want to have more of that curve. So I'm going to gently press it. Then on the back, score, take this, and I've got that ear kind of off to the side. So it could wrap all the way around, or I could leave it kind of up, which I kind of like the way this one looks up, like that. So I'm going to smooth that out. And because I want it to kind of be like this coming up, I need to attach right there at the top. So there are different ways of doing it. So I've got my dog, all right, and my cat. For a dog nose, it might look a little bit different, okay? It might look more of a oval, and I'll show you that really quick. So I would take circle, press it out, flip it over, press it out, and it would be score and slip. So you can see by me just setting it on there the difference between the dog and the cat. So I am going to adjust mine, and I am going to explain to you how we're going to put our names on these. So you can see I have finished my cat, and I decided to do a cat. All right, I love dogs, but I decided to do something a little bit different. So to do the cat, I have the ears attached on the back. Everything is smooth. Now I'm ready to get name on here. So to do the name, we have these handy dandy little stamps, and this is how it works. So pay attention. You would bring yours to me, and I will ask for your initials. So that means the first letter of your first name, first letter of your middle name, and first letter of your last name. So I am taking my stamp, and I am pushing it on the clay, and it will stamp that letter on the back. So I will help you do this. So now I have my initials on the back of that. I can of course bend the ears, make them look a little more interesting if I wanted to, but you have to be careful not to have anything really standing up. So you have been working on yours, all right? You've been doing a very good job. So when you get done and you are ready for the stamping, you come to me and I will help you do that.